This is a demo video for CodeDistiller, a tool for automatically generating code libraries for scientific coding agents. To understand what CodeDistiller does, let's look at four main types of scientific coding agents. The first is the simplest. We just ask a bare language model to generate scientific code for a particular task. This is great when it works, but models usually don't have enough knowledge to build most experiments correctly. The second type is the approach taken by AI scientists, where we essentially give the agent a pre-existing experiment and ask it to make variations or mutations. This gives us the benefit of starting with complex code, but it's limited to making variations of the same experiment. The third type, used by code scientists, is basically a code RAG. We get experts to build a code library of important pieces of experiments like statistical analyses, different kinds of models and benchmarks and so forth, and let the agent put these vetted pieces together and modify them. This really increases the agent's capacity, but it requires an expert to manually build that code library. And so the last approach is the same code RAG approach, but instead of manually building the library, you build an agent that can crawl Github and build that library automatically. This is what CodeDistiller was built to do. In the paper, we show that using this kind of automatically built library can really increase the accuracy, completeness, and soundness of the science that an agent can do. Under the hood, CodeDistiller is an agent that takes a repository as input, then works to understand the repository and generate and debug a working example of its usage. The CodeDistiller repository includes detailed instructions for getting CodeDistiller up and running quickly, as well as replicating the results in the paper. The tool itself can be used on the command line, simply telling it which repository you'd like to distill. It can also be run on dozens of repositories in parallel to build your code library quickly. When completed, you're left with a directory that contains example output, code, run scripts, and a human-readable report that mirrors much of that output while also describing high-level metadata like the core purpose of the repository, as well as the example code, results, run scripts, and so forth to verify that the distillation process was successful. CodeDistiller is open source and available at the following URL.